for the last 3 years, people have been asking me, where have you come from? Who are you? I always say to them, I used to be here before. I was in this industry before. But I left. I left after my father died. And suddenly I had to fill his shoes. And so it was a big change in my life. And I left the music scene. Even though I loved it and I enjoyed it, I had to leave it behind at that time. One of the craziest things is when I came back to the music industry, some of the DJs and artists, they've all grown up and they're actual professional DJs now. Right. And they're introducing me to their wife. Do you know what I mean?
No way.
They're like, this is Leeton, the legend. And the wives are like, oh, are you? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. She hasn't got a clue. And then they say, oh, you gave me my first ever MC or DJ set. Oh. And then they're like, oh, do you know what I mean? So it's lovely. The love that's there is actually something that it motivates me and keeps me going, honestly. There's so many positive people, and there's a lot of people out there who are so loving, but they don't show it. It's not till you get to know them that you realise, wow, this person's actually amazing. Yeah. And I've met so many good people that I would never, ever turn my back on the music scene now. Yes, peeps, welcome to I.E Media, the YouTube podcast for your senses.
So today I'm joined by the Layman. He's a good friend of Ash Noble, who was also on the previous podcast, episode 15. Go and check that one out. And it's going to be a good one. So I'm not going to drag this out. I'm just going to bring you straight on.
Thank you very much. I'm very pleased to be here on I.E Media. I'm just letting people know that I'm currently podcasting without any shoes on. So if there's any weird smells, just don't react. They'll pick up on it.
No, I appreciate you. You didn't have to take your shoes off, but
it's how I roll. It's how I'm comfortable.
The respect. That's awesome.
I could have been sat here in my boxers, so you should be glad.
Well, to be honest, you should be with the heat. So how warm is it?
It's tropical. That's all I can say. It feels like I'm in Barbados right now. I don't know how you survive in this heat. Thank God there's a glass of water here. You've thought ahead. Yeah.
No, I do warn guests when they're coming on the show that the room does lovely. Get very warm. But
it's a lovely setup you've got here. I mean, we've got sweets, we've got drinks, we've got these bright lights so they can look at our faces. It's awesome. Brilliant.
Appreciate it, man. So you are very multi-talented and you're involved with a lot of different things, but do you want to just sort of break down your background?
I go as the Layman. My real name's Leeton, and I don't like to be labelled as anything because I do multiple things. So podcasting, I'm a radio presenter, I'm mic host, I songwrite, I produce music, a film director, so I'll film something called Hull Enders, which a lot of people know about. Yep. I film small sketches, I do editing, photoshopping, a bit of everything. Wow. Yeah, because people come up to me and say, what is it you do? And I'm like, what can I say? I can't categorise myself. I can't label myself. I'm just the Layman. And that's what it is. So people see me and go, it's just the Layman.
But you definitely get about, because I was looking at one of your pages and seeing all the events and the photography work and stuff you do.
I've done over 100 events. In the last 2 years, easily over 100 events. Ranging from Creamfields, Kids Stock, to all the big festivals, and right down to the smaller events, people's birthday bashes or charity events. Wow. I'm there, yeah.
So you've always had a passion for photography as well?
No, I'm not even a professional photographer. Right. What happened was I came back to the music scene as a podcaster, and people started inviting me as a guest to their events. And I'd take my phone along, start taking pictures, because everybody wanted a selfie. So I'd start taking pictures of everybody, and I'd post it online. Next thing you know, I get a phone call. Do you fancy coming to our event and taking pictures? Yeah. I'm like, what? So I invested in a camera, and it just blew up from there. Oh. So, because 4 years ago, I didn't even have social media.
Right.
Yeah. No way. So I did not exist. A lot of people say to me, where the hell did you come from? And I'm like, I was here in the mid-90s in the music scene, but they have no idea because there was no social media.
Right, of course. Yeah. There's no trace of...
There is no trace.
The good old days.
It's a good thing as well. There's no trace of my history. There's so many stories. We could easily fill 12 hours, I reckon.
Yeah, well, hopefully we're doing many more as well. And with Ash as well.
Oh, God. Let's not talk. Do you know what? Talking about Ash Noble, I know he's on your previous podcast. And he's been such a good lad. He's progressed so well in life, not just with the music side of things, with self-improvement. And he's currently working as a youth worker and is making such a big difference in that arena. Last week we performed at an event at Hull University, which was for people with learning difficulties and disabilities. And that event filled me with joy. Yeah. It really did, to see that you can make such a difference with music to people that you think wouldn't normally be able to go to a club.
Of course, we take that for granted, don't we?
Yeah, that's right. And I remember I'd got there early, everyone was setting up, doing sound checks and stuff, and I'd gone outside just for a quick cigarette break, and I see the queue, And there's a huge queue up there, and there's people with all different levels of like autism and disabilities, but they've all come together for this one event. Yeah. And it was such a privilege to be there. And it was for an organisation called Whole Red, and that's what they specialise in. And I remember the guy who was organising it, he said to me, "Oh, we've got a little bit of drum and bass going on. Could you and Ash Noble go on the mic?" So I said to Ash Noble, I said, "Should we do it?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." So next thing you know, we're on the mic spitting bars to drum and bass, and everybody's loving it. Yeah. Whereas I'd normally put drum and bass in a club, and I wouldn't think it'd go down very well. But they loved it, yeah. So, yeah, I do a bit of everything. I don't know what you want to touch upon or what you want to ask
everything.
me. Everything.
Let's go into everything. So you do a bit of FM radio stuff as well?
I'm a presenter on Hull's 107 FM. I used to present these big Saturday Night Live, but the events have took over, so I'm not available on a Saturday. So now I do a midweek show, and I've called it The Essential Mix. And I am the only show in the Humberside region that will play hardcore, bounce, and hardstyle, hard trance, drum and bass.
That's awesome.
So I have a mixed genre show. I do 2 hours. I do 1 hour of like old classic club classics. So everything that you know, Castles in the Sky, I'm a Superstar, things like that. And then in the second hour, I bring in all the new tunes. So we've got producers, who are currently smashing it, like Andromedic and, Sub Focus and that. We know they're at the top of the game. So I'll play some of their new things. And then we've got a lot of clubland artists who I've met throughout my journey. And they'll send me something they've done new. So we get the exclusive. And then that goes out. So like big shout out to Ultra Beat and Flip and Phil. They did Bon Jovi's Living on a Prayer. And they revamped it. And it's something that's played at all the festivals because everyone knows the words. They all love singing along to it. And we was the first radio station in the in our area to get that track. Right. So it was nice to put it out. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, but I enjoy it. I enjoy radio. I didn't think I had the voice for it, even though you've said to me.
You definitely got the voice for it.
Well, I didn't think I had a radio voice. And I remember being younger and we'd listen to tracks on radio. This is back in the cassette days, so a lot of viewers won't know what they are. But a double cassette radio with the little lights in it, a graphic equalizer that didn't work. And I'd record on there and pretend I was a radio presenter.
Right,
so I'd record a track and I'd record my voice because it was the only thing you could record on. We didn't have mics and stuff, everything was basic. I'd record on there and pretend I was putting this little radio show together. I'd record it to tape. And if we ever went to my friends' houses and that, we'd put it on. The little surprise was me going, coming up next. Do you know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
And
you're on jingles.
Yeah, that's right. And I was kind of obsessed with that. And, fast forward to 2022 is when I started Hull 107 FM. I remember going through the presenter training and thinking, I'm not sure if I can do this. And I remember even before I finished the training, the director was like, "Yeah, you're ready to go on air." And I'm thinking, I'm not. Yeah. I can't do what you guys do. But then that's it. They just throw me in the deep end and you adapt. You actually adapt and think, I've got to get through this. And it's just took off from there. And now I'm comfortable with it. And live radio is difficult because you've got to be sort of like improvised. And you've got to know your music. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of presenters out there, and I listen to them on radio because with a critical aspect now, critical opinion, and I listen to them and they don't know the music they're playing. So they don't really know how to introduce it or what to say about the artist. I mean, most of them use like Wikipedia to have a quick look, but you can tell.
Yeah. So what came first, the FM stuff or the podcasting?
No. I started off in the mid-90s. I'm actually older than I look. I know you don't have to compliment me, but I'm actually older than I look, so I'm actually 48.
Right.
And so in the mid-90s, I started off as an R&B DJ, and I started off playing in what they call the ice room, the ice bar, which was the second room of a big club. It had 820 capacity. And I started off there, but then I got into promotions. So back at college, I was part of the students' unions, the entertainments manager, and I used to put the college party on. Except one day I went to the club and I thought, you know what, I'm a bit of a barterer. So I said to the club owner, can you give us this club free if we bring a college party to you?
Yeah.
And he was like, no, it's £350, or if you can put in over 400 people, it's free. And I thought I can easily do that. And I did. And we saved the money. So I was at this meeting with all the tutors and everyone. Everyone sat around the table and you all go in turns to give them updates. They came to me and said, Leeson, student union rep, what have you got? I said, I've just saved the college 350 quid. Right, Not one of them said thank you.
Wow.
I went away that day being really disappointed after all the effort I've put in. And I set up Layton Promotions. And I stole every single college in Hull. And I used to put on events every 2 or 3 months. And these events were so popular that I hired a club which is called Planet Earth 1,200 capacity, 1,600 people turned up. We couldn't fit them in.
Wow.
Yeah, the police rang me and said, are you letting these people in or not? And I said, why?
No.
And he said, because they've queued around the front of the police station.
Yeah.
And every time a copper came in or out, they were shouting abuse at them.
God, no way.
Yeah, you got to think there was all half cut already, and they're shouting abuse at the police who are coming in and out the station, and the police wanted them gone, but we couldn't fit them in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a case of like being packed like sardines, one in, one out.
Yeah, I suppose you've got to be careful as well, planning those sort of big events, aren't you?
Well, the thing is, luckily,
security and
when you plan a club event, the club takes most of the responsibility.
Right.
You're just responsible for sort of like the logistics of it all. They are responsible.
Yeah.
But the way people queue up, the way they let them in, they're responsible for that. You're just responsible for your lineups and things like that. But they looked after me. I became one of like, apart from my friend, Darren Goldburn, who ran Roadblock, and Terry Deja Vu, I was one of the biggest promoters in Hull. And we had 13 nightclubs, and I could go to any one of them, and it was free. And
Wow.
that was the benefit I had.
No way.
Yeah. And so the promotions led me into the nightclub industry. And I worked my way up, and I became assistant manager of the nightclub, which I ran with my then girlfriend, who used to be a doorwoman, and she became the licensee.
Right.
And so next thing you know, the club that I was promoting at, I'm running. And it's a totally different ball game. Honestly, running a club is totally different.
I bet you got some stories from that era.
I've got so many stories. I've got so many stories like throughout my full journey.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest things now is like for the last 3 years, people have been asking me, "Where have you come from? Who are you?"
Yeah.
And I think I always say to them, "I used to be here before. I was in this industry before, but I left. I left after my father died, and suddenly I had to fill his shoes." And so it was a big change in my life. You know, I've got younger siblings as well, and my mother.
Responsibilities.
The responsibilities became priority, and I left the music scene. Even though I loved it and I enjoyed it, I had to leave it behind at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, understandable. Family comes first, doesn't it?
It is. And my return back to the music scene was through podcasting.
Right.
And so I set up something called The Layman Show, which was a podcast that touched on current affairs. So anything that was relevant in the news or happening in society, we touched upon, but with satire.
Okay.
So that way we can get away with, exploiting it and saying what we wanted because it was internet. And that took off. It started off as an audio podcast, and then we went on to video after I invested some money into it. And once it was video, it's a totally different audience than those who listen to podcast. Because they're watching your expression, and if it's entertaining, they will watch it. And that's what we had. And that is what sort of like brought me back. One of the craziest things is when I came back to the music industry, some of the DJs and artists that I'd given their very first set to back in the sort of like late 90s, they've all grown up and they're actual professional DJs now.
Right.
And they're introducing me to their wife. Do you know what I mean?
No way.
They're like, "This is Leeton, the legend." And the wives are like, "Oh, are you?" Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She hasn't got a clue. And then they say, "Oh, you gave me my first ever MC or DJ set."
No
and then they're like, "Oh," do you know what I mean? So it's lovely. The love in the music scene as a whole, and I don't split the genres. I look at it as a whole. So whether it's hardcore, hardstyle, bounce, trance, D&B, whatever it is, the love that's there is actually some of that it motivates me and keeps me going, honestly.
Yeah.
It's brilliant to see. There's so many positive people, and there's a lot of people out there who are so loving, but they don't show it. It's not till you get to know them that you realise, wow, this person's actually amazing.
Yeah.
And I've met so many good people that I would never, ever turn my back on the music scene now.
No. I bet it is just fun.
It is fun because if you enjoy what you do, then that's the bonus. If you enjoy, like, I'm sober. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. And people are like, "How do you do a full night at an event?"
Yeah, I get asked that.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's different because everyone else is sort of like, off their tits as such.
Yeah.
But when you enjoy yourself and you enjoy socialising with these people, you're there for them and they know that. So I remember going to Uprising and a lot of people didn't know I was coming. So I turns up and they've all said hello to me at the door and everything. And I've walked through. It took me nearly 15 minutes to get from the door to the stage because of everybody grabbing me on the way.
No way.
I haven't even got a camera set up, but they're all grabbing me. And it's that type of welcome is priceless. Yeah. Absolutely. And even now, like doing some of the festivals that I do, the way they treat me at the festivals, I can't thank them enough. I was thinking the other day that I might put a post up listing every single event I've done and just to say thank you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because
of
they've
course.
given me something in return that they haven't realised. Because this came at a bad point in my life. I'd lost 2 businesses during lockdown and stuff, and I was sat there thinking, what am I going to do with my life?
Of course, yeah.
And luckily, I had a friend of mine, she's psychic, and she said to me, trust the universe, because something's coming. And here I am now, like 3 years later, and everywhere I go, I'm fortunate enough that people actually do like me. You know, it's a genuine like. And I remember going to an event in Wales, thinking, I don't know anyone here. What am I going to do? You know, feeling a bit uncomfortable, but tiny bit of anxiety as you would.
Yeah.
Going to an event where I don't know anyone. And as soon as I got there, there's people on the dance floor grabbing me going, follow you online. Do you know what I mean? I love everything you do. And I do that many things that people know me for different things. So some of them listen to me on radio. Some of them know me as the photographer. Some of them have seen me on a mic. Some of them watch Laytoons, Hollanders. So everybody's got a different view of you. But it's beautiful, beautiful, honestly.
Yeah. Well, the first time I seen you was Hollanders.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, through linking up with Ash and checking his stuff out. And it was Robbie, actually. Big shout to Robbie.
Yeah, big shout, Robbie.
Been on the podcast a few times, Robbie. Check him out. He told me as well about the Hollanders.
My God, because I mean, if you don't know us and you watch it, you're going to think, what is this crap?
No, but I seen something else in it. And
did you?
I was just saying in the previous episode, like I can see the progression through each episode, and you two just work really well together. And I honestly think that if you had enough budget, it'd be a proper show.
Well, it's funny you say that, because a movie director, I'm not going to name his name, he did get in touch with me.
Right.
And he said, I've watched your Hollanders.
Wow.
He says, what we would like you to do, if you can do it, is actually get it filmed properly and make it into a sizzle reel so we can then present it, you know what I mean, as a package. And he said, you never know who's going to pick it up, and they might dramatise it or they might turn it into a movie. So that's a possibility for the future.
100%.
That's something where I'd need money, and like, money is tight for everybody at the moment. So,
of course, yeah.
So Hollanders is filmed on a budget, and you won't believe the budget it's filmed on.
Can I ask, is it like, do you use iPhones or cameras, or?
I'm not telling you my secrets, Martin.
Okay.
I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to film the next season, aren't you?
Yeah.
No, but the thing is, Hollanders is actually filmed on a phone. So the entire thing is filmed on a phone, and you can tell by the quality of the sound sometimes that it's actually dog shit. But
it's only because like external mics and stuff.
Yeah, that's right. That's
again,
right.
It's
and
money and investment.
It is. I don't have a sound guy, so everything that you see in Hollanders, I've done. Whether it's directing, lighting, getting the people ready, continuity, everything is done by myself. And Ash Noble's been a great help, because behind the scenes, if I need a film scene, a scene filming, he'll do it. And he knows me well enough now, because he has a rough idea what I want. So if I say, can you film this for us? He's got a rough idea what he wants, what I want.
Yeah, of course.
And he kind of gets it right. So that's been a great help, having people in the background who will pick up the camera and follow you.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've been really fortunate with Hollanders. It's something that started off as a joke, and people just want more.
Yeah, I do. I'm waiting for the next episode.
The craziest thing about Hollanders is Ian Van Dahl.
Yeah,
the man, Castles in the Sky.
I'm glad you brought that up.
He plays Ruslan Borovic, and that is a name we both came up with, sat there together. And there's an outtake of where I'm loading a clip into it.
It falls out.
It falls out, and we just had so much fun. And he's brilliant at it, and he took it quite serious. If you look at the way he's in it, his accent and everything, the way he moves, the way he's kissing his teeth.
I like the way he's, and it sounds dead funny, the way he's like a desert eagle, and it's like clearly a Beretta.
You got desert eagle. I shoot my ex-wife, and I'm like, what? One shot kill? He goes, of course, I'm professional. It just makes me crazy. And I couldn't have asked for somebody better to do it. But I have got a message for him, so can I do it to this camera here?
Absolutely.
Right. So Ian Van Dahl, who's actually been a pain in my life over the past year.
Let's just rewind that.
Why?
For the guests and listeners, explain who Ian Van Dahl is, because they might not know him by name.
Well, Ian Van Dahl is the guy behind Castles in the Sky. So I think everybody knows that track. Everyone sings along to it.
They should now.
So he's a DJ who performs up and down the country, all the festivals and stuff. And we've become friends. And out of that friendship has actually come a thorn in my side of him sending me a picture every day. And this picture that he sends me every day just has 2 fingers in it. And he could be anywhere. It doesn't matter whether it's an airport, restaurant, subway, anywhere. 2 fingers. So I thought today, do you know what? I'd like to return that favour, Martin, if I may.
Yeah.
So Ian Van Dahl, this is for you. And I want do you know what? I've had other people do it as well. Yeah. So when I've been at a festival or something, and I've had maybe somebody drop his name, so it could be somebody like Four Strings or somebody that he knows. I've said the same to them. Could you do me a picture, me and you, with 2 fingers? And they're like, who's it for? And I'm like, it's for Ian Van Dahl. And they're like, yep, perfect, we'll do it.
No way.
Yeah. So I've got him back a few times. Got him back with a lot of ravers as well. But yeah, it's been fun.
I think I'll decline your request to give him the finger. He might come after me with his Desert Eagle.
Get a knock at the door. It's Ruslan. Yeah, but yeah, it's been good. I've met a lot of musicians and artists on this journey, and it's been great because what I've learned is when people are already at the top of the game or they're successful, they don't want nothing from you. There's nothing you can actually offer.
Yeah.
So it's been nice to have that proper friendship sort of like brewing in the background. So Scott Brown is another guy, do you know what I mean? I've grown up listening to his music, but now we're friends and it's nice.
Yeah, of course.
So me and Scott Brown went to the comedy club, where Paul Smith performs.
Oh, I love that guy.
The Hot Water Comedy Club.
Yeah.
So me and Scott's gone there and I'm like, come and sit at the front. And he's like, why? Because you got long legs, innit?
Oh, no.
No,
I know what's coming.
He clicked on. Because Joey Wright got ripped at that place, didn't he? So Scott Brown sat at the front with his legs on the stage because they're long. And then we got moved because them seats were actually reserved.
Oh, no way.
So I remember going to the bathroom and I said to the doorman, could you let Paul Smith know that DJ Scott Brown's here? Because I wanted him to get bullied. But he knew what I was up to. He did.
What happened?
He looked at him a few times because I think he recognised him, but he didn't. I don't think Paul knew what to maybe say to him. Yeah. He didn't actually pick on him. But there's always a second, there's always another time.
There's always another time.
Yeah, there's always another time. And I remember afterwards, we were sat in a kebab shop together, eating a doner kebab and that, and we turned into food critics. We sat there going, isn't this kebab nice? And that was the kind of conversation was having, like, this is actually all right, isn't it? And you think, there's 2 people here who maybe could talk to the ends of the world about music. We're sat here discussing a kebab.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Big love for him. I got a big love for Scott. Absolutely brilliant. I've been at a few events with him. And I remember one time he said to me, what you doing? I said, nothing much. He went, come and see me. I'm playing at somewhere like 4 o'clock in the morning at some festival thing. And we're there, like 5 o'clock in the morning. It was freezing. But, it was such good memories.
Yeah.
And I appreciate everything that people do. So some of these memories, they're absolutely priceless. And I'm going to go on to a friend of mine called Mike Covell. He's a paranormal historian. He's off programs like Most Haunted and things like this. Oh, wow. So he's like one of these ghost experts.
No way.
And he's crazy, right? He's written something like 52 books. He writes. He's a machine.
Wow.
And Mike turned around to me and said he'd be happy to write my book. So that is something I want to look forward to.
No way.
So a lot of the stuff that I'm talking on this podcast, I will be putting in that book. All the good memories, all the crazy things that have happened, it'll all go in the book. It'll be brilliant.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you'll have to come back on the show and
I'd happily come back. You know what I mean? I was thinking we should swap sides one day. And I'd interview you and find out who you are, Martin. Who is I.E Media?
I'm sure the new listeners will like that.
Yeah, definitely. I think they would. They'd like to know. Everybody likes to know a bit about the presenter.
Of course, yeah. It makes it a bit more personal, doesn't it? Because I've been noticing from the analytics, I don't get many views on YouTube, but I get a lot more plays through the audio apps and stuff. And it shows you all the countries and the cities and that. Yeah. And I think it's 34% is United States.
Wow.
And then I think 40-something UK, and then the rest is all. But it's amazing some of the countries you see.
It is because
a couple in Russia, India, everywhere. So
that's what awesome. I mean when I'm on FM radio and Facebook is my platform. That's the one I'm the most comfortable with. Yeah. I wasn't a big social media fan. I actually hated it. But then when it came to doing the podcast, I thought, how do I promote this? So we went on the sort of audio streamers, and then I thought we need a Facebook page because that's what everyone talks about.
Yeah.
And then Facebook for me is the platform that blew up. And I know some people prefer it, some don't, but for me it works. Yeah. And the Layman page itself is only about a year old, whereas my profile is the one I started with. And
right.
The Layman page has just grown, from strength to strength. Looking at the analytics on there, they're all over the world.
Yeah.
So, you've got people from America who are my fans. I've never met, I've never spoken to, but they like what I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am the troll, by the way. So if I see you online, I'll troll you. I'll troll anyone. I don't care who they are.
Yeah.
But in a nice way. It's always in a fun way because life's hard, isn't it? So life's hard for a lot of people. And I like to inject a little bit of fun in there. Or if there's a bad situation, make light of it. I think that's how I deal with things in life.
Yeah, I think that's the best way.
Yeah, definitely. Positivity rules. And this is 100%. One of my... Yeah. So, talking about like positivity, do you know that I have an alter ego?
No.
Yeah, so my alter ego is Jiggerman.
Right, okay.
So you might see it some now and again. Basically, what it is, we put out these positive ragga tunes. And what we've done is we mixed a couple of genres. So we get Ash Noble doing sort of like the rap side of it. And then I'll usually sing a chorus, even though I'm not a singer. But we pull it off. Do you know what I mean? And people enjoy it because it's always pushing up positivity. We released a track called Good Life. And every time we perform Good Life, I don't know what it is about that track, probably the amount of positivity we put into it, but that's the track that people love. As soon as they hear it, and the chorus is, "This be the good life that I'm living," they just start singing along, and you think they don't know the words. And that's been tremendous for us because we've performed at festivals, small stages, outdoor arenas as Jiggerman and Noble.
No way.
Yeah. So it's been mad.
That's really good. Do you reckon you could give us a little preview of the chorus?
The chorus?
Yeah.
Oh no, not without music. It's weird without music. And
give you a bit of reverb, but that's about it.
But you know what? We'd be happy to perform for you.
Of course.
Yeah. So get us down, get us a mic, and we'll put the backing track on, and we'll smash out Jiggerman and Noble.
I wish I'd have known because I got married in August.
Oh, did you?
If I'd have known.
Come and perform at your wedding?
It'd have been awesome. Yeah. DJ
man. This be the Jiggerman.
Yeah, my missus loves all that stuff as well.
Oh, does she?
Big fan of like General Levy and
General Levy. Yeah, I've met Paul. He's absolutely sound.
Is that his name, Paul?
Yeah, Paul.
All right.
And so he actually came and performed in Hull, and I've spoken to him online a couple of times, but we don't really know each other when you speak online. And I got to meet him, and I said, "You're in my hometown now." And what a performer he is. Yeah. He is a born performer, that guy. And I remember I was sat in the VIP room with him, so I got pictures with him and his family and stuff, and we had a little chit chat. And MC ELL was on after him. Right. And I remember ELL saying, "How am I going to go on after Levy?" Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But he absolutely smashed it. What a legend he is. And General Levy came up to me and said, "Who is that guy down there?" Because he liked his energy.
Yeah.
And ELL, he's normally like in the hardcore scene and stuff. But coming here into the drum and bass, he absolutely smashed it. Do you know what I mean? He had it in his hand. He's a brilliant performer.
No way. And apologies to General Levy for saying Levy. Completely butchered it, and I've just heard you say it.
My name not Levy. My name be Levy.
Yeah. Sorry about that. No, that's awesome. You've definitely got around the scene then.
Yeah, I've got around the scene. I've met so many people, from TV stars to music stars. So it's been a journey that's been unexpected in many ways, and even to the point where some of these artists, they've seen you a couple of times, they haven't spoken, but then they see you again and they see how you are with people and they greet you as well. And like I said, I've made so many friends in the music scene now that I do believe in what's meant to happen is going to happen. Yeah. And I know there's a lot of people out there who are maybe pushing for success. Keep going, do you know what I mean? Because if it's going to happen, it will happen regardless. Yeah. And trust in the universe. Do you know what I mean? Have a positive outlook and trust in the universe, because if it's going to happen, it'll happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've just got to keep going and pushing.
Yeah, because one of the things I hear is like, you can't help it, but you can sometimes have a negative outlook on things, but it doesn't help your cause, especially if you're vocal with it. So if there's somebody who's maybe not getting booked or not progressing, and they're really negative about it, they don't realise they're actually pushing people away.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Promoters, for example, might look at this negative DJ, artist, musician and think, I don't want that negativity at my event.
Of course, and the drama that it brings. And stuff.
I mean, drama's always going to be there. It doesn't matter what scene you're in, drama exists. Stay out of it. Simple as that. Don't get involved. Stay out of it. If it comes to your doorstep, just don't deal with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stay positive. that is my only thing. Stay positive, honestly, because there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And whatever you're going through, stay strong, because bad moments, life's a roller coaster. It goes up and down. Bad moments aren't there forever.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always say that as well, like no matter what pain or trauma you're going through, it's not going to last forever.
No,
because we don't live forever.
No,
so.
I mean, the good things is learn from your lessons. Do you know what I mean? If there's something in your life that isn't serving your purpose, learn from it and don't do it again.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you won't progress. And people see life sort of like very, I don't know how to describe it, maybe from a single perspective. If something's not right, shift your perspective. Take a sidestep, look at it again from a different angle.
Yeah.
And there's always positives to be drawn out of every situation you are in. And if you have that mindset, you can deal with anything.
Definitely.
Why am I sounding like Joe Rogan?
Yeah, it's true though, because you reflect back on life sometimes, don't you? In hindsight, looking back, and you think, "Oh, that bad thing that happened was bad," but because of that, this happened.
Because of that, something's improved, something's changed. You know, the door's opened. Like people who see me online, they only see one glimpse, one sort of like tiny section of my life, because I don't put my private life online.
Yeah,
because my private life is my private life, and so they might look at this sort of like image online and think, wow, he's got a brilliant life.
Yeah.
But that's just an image.
Yeah.
And like everybody on Facebook will put something up. They want to look good. Everybody wants to look good. It's just an image. People, we all live and we all have a life and we all live in society. We're all going through the same struggles. But that's why I keep my private life off there. I don't get involved in drama. And if I find somebody too negative, I will not hesitate to sort of like restrict my involvement or connection with that person. I'll cut them off if need be.
Yeah.
Yeah. If they bring something detrimental to your life, definitely cut them out. And that is the advice I'd give to anybody, because life's hard enough. And then if you cut the negative people out, it becomes a little bit easier. Yeah.
I think if you surround yourself with that negativity, it does have a negative effect on you, and it does make you depressed.
Absolutely not. Absolutely. What is depression? It's a state of low serotonin and dopamine, and that is caused by negativity.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So if you wake up and you think, oh God, I've got to deal with them, I've got to deal with this, you're going to be stuck there. So get rid of any negativity in your life if you can. You can't everything. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like bills or family, you can't get rid of. But anything else that's external, get rid of it. If you don't like your job, don't think you're stuck there. Go get a better one. Change your life.
Yeah.
And it'll change the way you are and how you vibrate. We're all frequencies.
Yeah, yeah.
Even our voices now, the people who are listening on the audio podcast, they'll vibe off our voice.
Of course.
And you've got a good voice as well, Martin.
I don't know.
I'm not coming on to you. I'm just saying you've got a good voice.
Cheers, appreciate that. When I don't mince my words. And
but
have to do a retake.
Who cares, really? Who cares?
Yeah.
If like our podcast as well. So like our podcast shows, we've messed up enough times. We're a video. So we've messed up on the video, but we just carry on. Do you know what I mean? People pick up on it and said, oh, you goofed up. So what? We goofed up. Do you know what I mean? I don't care. Yeah. And the same goes for life. I mess up in life, but who cares?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think if you dwell on the negative, you'll never progress from anything, will you?
No, I mean, life, the way they've sort of like programmed us about life isn't how it actually is. And that's something that's took me a lot of years to learn, because now that I'm going to say I'm a mature man. All right, I might have a childish mind, but I am a mature man. Yeah. And I've learned a lot through life and living life and looking at situations and outcomes, because I haven't always been the way I am now. I wasn't always a positive person. And, you know, I've also been horrible to a lot of people in my life. But that's another story we're not going to go into. But I've learned a lot from it, and I've always had this sort of like logical way of thinking. So, you know how you can see two sides to a situation? Yeah. That is how my mind works. So I always see a situation, and sometimes it's a battle, because I see the good and the bad in it. Do you know what I mean? And you try and make it good. Yeah. If you can see both sides, you can sway it. And that's what I do. And that's how I live my life. Yeah.
That's the best way, I suppose, bring some sort of balance to it as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. Balance is key. Everything has a balance. Dark, light, hot, cold, everything has a balance.
Yeah.
You can find it in the middle, do you know what I mean? Something's too hot, you add a bit of cold, you find the balance. That's life.
Yeah.
Find your balance, yeah.
And same goes with music as well.
Oh, music, do you know what I mean? What can I say about music? Yeah, I love music. Music is key. And a lot of people, you know, you could be in a dark place and you listen to an upbeat piece of music and it lifts you up a bit. You can be stressed out, listen to a bit of classical music and it brings you down. So music has an effect, whether people believe it or not.
100%. Yeah. You can listen to some real angry stuff and feel even angrier, couldn't you?
Well, you think about a lot of people who are in a dark place and they listen to like emo music or, you know, like hard metal. It's because that's how they're feeling, so they resonate with it.
Yeah.
So when you're uplifted, you want uplifting music.
Yeah.
And that's something I've learned. I started off as a metal fan.
Right.
Yeah, so I love Guns N' Roses, and I was into Metallica. Then I went on to something called Suicidal Tendencies, which is not a quote. Okay, it's a band name. So stuff like that, and I was into it. And then I got into all the hip hop and stuff. So I was listening to like all the NWA, Public Enemy, things like this, and my music taste started changing.
Yeah,
I started listening to acid music back then when it came out. I thought, this is new, this is weird. Yeah. And my love for music sort of like spans everything now, apart from jazz.
Right, okay.
I can't handle jazz.
I don't mind blues.
Oh, no. It depends what blues it is. If you've got the sort of like the jazz element to that blues, no, I'm going to sort of like stay away from it, yeah. But some blues, cool. I love the acoustic sounds.
I love the emotion as well that you can sort of feel from, the singing. I mean, you can feel them hard times almost through the music.
That's right. When people write music, it usually comes from somewhere. I wrote a track called The Skits.
Right.
And this was a music track that I put together back in the late 90s. Yeah, late 90s it was. And I did it in 3 days, and it came from a very dark place. My relationship had gone, do you know what I mean? And I got separated from my children. And that track came from there. It came from that dark place. 3 days just focused on this track.
Yeah.
And when I listen to it back now, I can feel my own emotion in it.
Yeah.
Even though there's no vocals from me, but it's the way I've arranged it, the sounds that I've used. I've used an acoustic guitar just going bing, do you know what I mean? This angry bing. Yeah. And I can feel it. I can still feel it now when I listen to it. And it reminds me of why I wrote it.
Yeah.
So when it comes to songwriting, back in the day, everybody wanted to be like a hip-hop star. So that's how I started, writing poems and then writing songs. Whereas now when I write about everything that's positive in life, because that's what I want to give out. So I want someone to listen to it and think, oh, that tune's just lifted me. Yeah. And that is what I feel is my purpose now.
And what's important for people to understand as well, that was the origins of hip-hop as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was positive when you listen to the early stuff.
That's right. Because it was people talking about dilemmas in their life and putting it into words. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So whether it was anger, frustration, it was there. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I suppose everything changed with all the West Coast, East Coast gangster rap. Yeah. When that came in, the tone changed. All of a sudden, Tech Nines, this, do you know what I mean? Chrome to the Dome. It wasn't good. And like when you look at, I don't want to knock the grime artists now, but when you look at the grime scene now, it's not projecting a positive image. And this is one of the reasons, like, I don't really promote a lot of grime artists and stuff, even though I've been in a video with the Black Yorkshireman Chido Araka. He's a grime artist. He's doing brilliant for our area. He's on tour in America. I was in his video as a keyboard player. Oh, so, yeah, I've been in a couple of music videos, another one with Bud Sugar. So I was in his video as a keyboard player, and I loved the track. Do you know what I mean? It was a good track, and it's hard-hitting, it's raw. But there's a lot of grime artists who are projecting something that's not even real. And, they probably do their track and then they go back home and live in a nice place with a nice car and a nice job. Whereas the kids on the street listen to this thinking, these are my idols. I want to be like them. Yeah. That their life's not real. It does
glamorise this sort of crime sort of lifestyle. And I get it. I've had this conversation with a good friend of mine that I understand that most people stuck in that are just the victim of circumstance. Maybe they've got no opportunities, they've grown up in bad situations, and they're just trying to survive. I get it. I totally get it.
We are products of our environment. Yeah. So whatever environment you're in, you're going to adapt to survive. That's how we are programmed. That's how we live. And if you don't survive, you get exploited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sadly, it's just like...
It's a sad state of affairs when I could go into really deep, but I don't want to.
Yeah, of course.
I could go deep because I want to keep it uplifting.
100%.
Otherwise, I could tackle subjects that probably get you banned.
Hopefully don't start you off here, but just to sort of recap for one of my previous episodes, which is an audio exclusive for my good friend Marcus, American friend who's lived over here for like the last 15 years. We've done a series of shows. Before I started the video podcast, we did like 3 parts. And then I've merged them all together and put them as like an audio exclusive. But we talked a lot on hip hop and culture and stuff like that. Yeah. Obviously being Black American and living through the 80s and 90s, being a little bit older than me, he's seen it from a very different side. And he really does believe that there was an agenda to push
There's always an agenda.
An angle to sort of keep people in that prison state,
It's funny you mentioned prison state because we kind of live in an invisible prison where we believe we're free. So if you've got like a big farm and all the animals and they're roaming around, they think they're free. They're not. We're kind of like that. And, you know, we've got to adapt to society. So when we're younger, we're sent to school to get educated. Yet my kids now are learning what I learned when I was at primary school. And I'm thinking, what's the point in them learning the same thing? Why isn't education progressed with the times?
Yeah.
And if you teach kids now to be self-sufficient, how to handle money, how to deal with mortgages, financial things and stuff like that, they'd be in a much better position for the future. Definitely. But they're not taught these things. And there's so many things I'd love to change if I could.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can do another show one day.
I think, I'd love to.
Focused along that sort of
Absolutely,
stuff.
I'd love to. I remember when I was at college, I did politics, and they was talking about democracy.
Right.
And there was just drawing on the board showing how 51% overrule 49. So I sat back and I put my hand up and I said, I just got a question. And he went, what is it? And I said, if 51% overrule 49 and we talk about millions, that is a lot of people who are not getting what they wanted.
Absolutely.
And then he goes to me, you've got a dangerous mind.
And especially when you see the amount of people that actually vote and then you realise per population, it's a fraction who's actually...
I don't want to go into politics, but when you look at the people in power and stuff, who put them there? Because I never voted for them. I don't think you did. Anyone I speak to hasn't. So I think there's something's not right. No. But I don't want to go into it too much.
No, of course, I understand that. Save that for another show.
Yeah, you're really trying to find out who I actually am.
Yeah.
I don't think you will. I'm an enigma.
No, it's cool. It's a funny world, isn't it, with the conspiracies and stuff like that.
It is. I mean, there's always stuff flying around. I
mean, all I do these days is maybe just inject little samples and little bits into my music, so it's not too much. I mean, people who know certain things will be like, oh, I get what he's trying to do.
Yeah, we did a track, myself, Ash Noble and Freestyle, we did a track called Government Control, and we did it during lockdown, because actually during lockdown, I didn't stay in, do you know what I mean? So I was still working, so I couldn't. I still had to go to work and stuff. But during that time, nobody was doing anything, so people had time, free time. So we could get together and do things. Even if you're not together, you could still work together, whether you rang each other on the phone or FaceTime.
Yeah.
So we put this track together called Government Control. And I remember that Ash Noble and Freestyle had put this track, and they was like, Layman, we want you on it. When I came on it, bro, you've got to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've got to hear that.
I need to hear it.
Yeah, you've got to hear it. That's all I say.
I know Robbie did one during lockdown, which was about that sort of stuff, and it got took down. It's off YouTube, It's only a song, you know, you'd think that... I mean, I've heard a lot of rap artists, which I react to on my channel, that have talked way deeper than... than that, and they're fine, but...
That's what I mean. When you got artists like Dax and stuff, who are so famous, and it seems that they've got like a green card to say anything.
Yeah.
Whereas if nobody says it, I don't know what the issue is. I'm a big believer in free speech, as long as you're not out there deliberately trying to hurt somebody or harm somebody with what you say and do. But I don't understand why they like to, like you say, take his track down. What for? It's not like it's going to go global, or is it?
Yeah. Well, I think if a lot of people are thinking along the same sort of lines, they don't want to add to the fire, the fuel to the fire, do they?
Well, that's it. That's it. Much. And like, I don't know how it is for your podcast, but our podcast, they got shadow banned. And so on Facebook, I'd share the Layman mug, for example, and then you look at your stats and it says it's gone up to 15,000 people. And so I share the podcast, 40.
Wow.
And that is the level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the level.
Yeah, I'm seeing that too.
So, you've got to be careful, because I don't know how they do it. They do scan your podcast for keywords and such. So you've got to be careful how you talk about things, or how you want people to interpret it. Because podcasting itself is massive now, as you know.
Yeah.
It's a huge industry, and it's one that people are being censored left, right and centre. So podcasting is the way to be able to express themselves.
Yeah.
And it's a big industry, so they try to keep it in check.
Yeah.
Because people could say anything out there. Yeah. So
I've learned a lot from podcasts, you know, like this and Joe Rogan, and, you know, even and in terms of like alternative media and what might also be going on behind the scene, you know, that sort of stuff.
Well, it's funny.
And that's talked about, no problem. And I think sometimes it's the power in numbers, because they've got a huge audience and a huge following. They can't just take them down because
that's
of that
right. They're too big.
Because then everyone's going to think, well, why did they take it down?
Well, they generate so much money.
But if you're a small creator,
you're not missed.
Be careful.
Yeah, that's right. Definitely. Until you get big enough. Do you know what I mean? Go viral. I don't know. Do something. But it's funny. The podcast led me onto a radio station in Hull Internet Radio, and we used to do the podcast and sort of like cross stream it across. And then after that, I got the idea of setting up Layman Radio.
Right.
And it was a brilliant idea. It took off so well, it grew to be Hull's biggest internet radio within about 3 months of it setting up.
Nice.
And it was a 24-hour station, and we had DJs from all over the country willing to play live, and even people like Paul Taylor from Retro, and a girl from Niche. Do you remember Niche back in the day?
Baseline.
Yeah, that's right. She was a baseline DJ, and she was called Shikamu. And even she came across, and we started attracting things. But then it got too big to handle, because I didn't realise a 24-hour station needs 24-hour attention.
Of course, yeah.
That's right. And then DJs would be like, yes, I'm playing. Then it comes to their time slot, they're not on. They're not available. They're not answering.
So it's just dead air then?
It's not dead air, but somebody has to be there to put something in.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And that was one of the biggest issues we had. So I'd love to bring Layman Radio back, but maybe sort of like automated after, between certain hours, off-peak times.
Yeah.
And then during peak times, actually have live presenters. Yeah. But I love radio.
Could you do that with a way that they could remotely connect?
Yeah. I mean, there's so many things now out there for people to be able to, as long as they've got like a key, they can just log in and start streaming from their end. Yeah. But one of the biggest issues we had was like, a lot of people don't understand sound, how to transmit. So there was some people were sort of like using a mic in their speakers. And and you can't do that. You can't do that. Yeah. So I think I've learnt a lot. All I can say is I've learnt a lot. So I know in the future that I'd be telling them, look, set up your rig like this, get a little iRig, plug it into your phone or whatever, and we'll do it that way. Yeah. Get a clearer sound. But definitely. So that's something I'd like to do in the future.
Oh, it sounds fun, definitely.
Yeah.
Give us a shout if you need to fill any slots.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've just interviewed you now in my head while we've been talking. I thought, yeah, it'd do all right.
Yeah.
You'd do okay presenting a show.
Oh, nice.
With your barking dog sound effects.
No, yeah, he's a bugger, isn't he? To ship him off usually when I'm doing podcasts, but it wasn't possible today. So
yeah, it's fine. We should have brought him in.
Yeah. Do you know what? That would have stopped the barking. He would just led there and been quiet. Yeah,
So I don't know where else to go with this. Really, there's that many aspects of things that I do. But I do like to help people, and that is something that's been important. So I remember Christmas is a tough time for a lot of people. And last year I did put a post up saying, if there's anybody on their own at Christmas, message me privately, I'm going to ring you.
Yeah,
so
of course.
10 people came forward, and out of them 10 people, I think only 7 got in contact.
Right.
So basically I just ring them and have a laugh with them that day. And one of the guys, God bless him, he was quite elderly. And his wife had passed away. His children had sort of like left him. They don't bother with him. And I felt so bad. And I thought, I'm not sure I'm actually cut out to do this. Yeah. Because I came off the phone and I felt bad.
Oh, wow.
Even though you're trying to do something good, I felt bad.
Yeah.
Because it was on my mind. It was on my mind the rest of that day and the next day and the next, it just kept popping up. This guy's on his own.
Yeah.
And he's watching everybody around him celebrate, and it's on TV. Wherever you go, there's people, celebrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the illusion of Christmas they give us, isn't it?
That's it. I mean, I was talking to someone the other day, and they was talking about their kids want this, this, and this. And it came to like more than a month's salary for some people.
Yeah.
And I said, stop. I said, it's ridiculous, because these kids are going to grow up and they won't remember it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They'll remember the stupid things, or the crazy things you did, the fun things you did as a family. But, all of these celebrations look how big Halloween is now.
Yeah.
And all of these, it's about money. It's capitalism at its best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, folks.
Oh, no. I'll get to the Merry Christmas at the end, honestly. Do you know what I mean? But do you know what?
I just will come out around Christmas.
I just want people to realise that more doesn't mean everything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Parents are under pressure. People are under pressure to buy these expensive things. You don't have to.
Of course.
It's not important. Yeah. Just take a step back and look at it really and what it's about.
Yeah, my son always has a massive, ridiculous list that's like probably 10 grand's worth of stuff.
God.
And he'll probably get 1 or 2 things off this big list.
But I bet he's happy.
Of course, yeah.
Exactly, and that's what I mean. I think, you go online and you'll see these stupid videos at Christmas where they filled a room full of presents for one kid.
Yeah.
And, and these are just people who are just mental. That's the only thing I can say. They are mental. What are they trying to show us? That they're rich?
Yeah.
No, it's just ridiculous, honestly.
We've done the same thing when my son was a little bit younger. Not like big, expensive presents, but, like loads of board games and this and that, and cheaper things. And it's got to the point where it's got to next Christmas and he's watching the TV and he's like, I want that. It's like, you've got it upstairs. It's not even been opened. You've not even looked at it once. It's sat in your room for 3 months on the floor and you didn't even touch it. I want that.
Exactly, yeah. So I think, people need to really take a step back and reassess, because so many people end up in debt in January, February times. They're paying things off.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be like that. Christmas shouldn't be about being in debt.
Yeah.
So I'm strongly against it. I mean, I'll celebrate it, but I'm strongly against all the sort of like monetary side of things.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It should just be about family, friends.
It should be. I mean, everything's expensive as it is. Do you know what I mean? Whether you're getting a turkey and all the food in and everything, it costs loads.
Yeah.
So, and on top of that, having to sort of like buy these. Where was I? I was in Smith's Toys, and they've got, Lego, and they've got the Lego sort of like Ferrari. It's £199.
Jesus.
For Lego Ferrari.
Wow.
And you're thinking, some kid out there is like, Mum, Dad, I want that.
Yeah, someone's like week's wages, just like...
So for some people, more than a week.
Yeah. God.
Terrible.
Yeah,
so anyway...
Here we are, going all depressing. I'm sorry, folks. No, it's interesting and some really valid points, and I definitely think it'll bring something to someone out there that is maybe going through that at Christmas, a bit lonely and stuff.
That's it.
I always say to people as well that are feeling like that, don't feel like that alone. There is people out there, whether you think your friends or your family care, just try them, because chances are they do. While you're sat there depressed because you're in a negative state, thinking that nobody cares about me, the world's against me, chances are they're not. You know what I mean?
It's a good point to make, because there's a lot of people out there who don't speak to people for that reason.
Yeah.
But the truth is, you don't know what they're thinking or what they're feeling. You've just gone on an observation. And then you find, I see a lot of nice videos where people might go back to somebody they haven't spoken to, and they've missed each other.
Of course, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? There could be a parent and a child, or a couple of friends, and they've gone, you know what, I'm going to bite the bullet and go see them. Next thing you know, they've bonded, they're crying. You know what I mean? And they've missed out. Don't miss out on life.
Yeah.
Live every second of life.
So don't be stubborn this Christmas, folks. Get in touch with people.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. So what exciting projects do you have coming up in the future you can maybe leak with the audience?
Do you know what? Everybody asks me this question and they're like, Layman, what you got coming up next? Everyone's always interested.
He's cooking something.
Well, actually, yeah, we've got a few things coming up. I can't give too many details out. That's a problem. So all I can say is the acting side of things is going somewhere. So
awesome.
you might see me somewhere in a film.
Wow.
The second thing, we've got a music video coming up. One of them is with Ash Noble and another one is with another artist. So we've got 2 music videos coming up. One of them is hard-hitting. The other one is a lot more lively and friendly and jokey. So we've got those things in the pipeline. We do the cartoons, Laytoons, as you probably know. Ash Noble's in there with me. It started off, we'd often go to events and we're in the car a lot. Yeah. And that's how it started. I thought, this guy reminds me of Carl Pilkington. How about if I cartoon him, maybe he looks like him. And he does slightly, but he's got glasses. And that's how it kind of started. It started off with a couple of jokey episodes. We have just done 50th episode of Laytoons. Wow. And there's short clips of cartoons with a bit of humour behind it, a bit of silly humour. But the people love it. So originally I thought, yeah, we'll finish at 50. It doesn't look like that's going to finish. And the podcasting side of things is on hold at the moment till next year, because my co-host of the Layman show, he's busy. Do you know what I mean? So that is on hold at the moment.
Yeah.
If I touch on Hull Enders, we're currently halfway through the 8th episode, and I intend to put 10 out for this first season. And I say first season because I'm going to leave it open-ended.
Yeah.
As it comes to music, can we get Ash Noble back in?
Absolutely.
Noble, get back here now, come on.
I am on my way.
Guest from episode 15, Ash Noble.
Look how little he looks in that little chair.
I know, I'm real small.
So a lot of people have... are we on the screen together?
Yes.
Yeah, Noble, yes.
Yeah. Yes, Layman, what you saying?
One of the things I hate about this guy, I have slogans and punchlines, and he always uses them against me, yeah? So one of the things I say is, yes, peeps, it's the Layman. And he'll go on a live and go, yes, peeps.
Well, I have
what's going down?
Well, I have an argument, and I believe that if you go back on one of my YouTube channels, I did say yes, peeps before meeting the Layman, or it might have been your peeps, but it was something.
I think it's
similar.
your peeps. What's going down in Chinatown?
It might have been, but it's still got peeps in there.
I have artists messaging me, and the message will be like, yes, Layman, what's going on? And that's how they start. So it's become a slogan. And there's another one in it. What's the other one?
Yes, peeps, it's 8 p.m.
Every time I did a live, it was always at 8 o'clock because that was like my free time. And I'd start the live off with, yes, peeps, it's 8 p.m. and introduce the DJ. And that became a thing. So,
just in case people didn't realise what time it was.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did it. It just became a thing. And then all the lives were at 8 o'clock. So it became a thing. So every time I was on, I'd open the live stream up by going, yes, peeps, it's 8 p.m. Welcome, so-and-so DJ.
You should do the news on the radio as well as the weather, because don't they normally go, it's 8 p.m. or something?
Go on, give us a little radio voice.
Do the weather.
Something you'd say on
something I'd say
FM.
on radio. So I'd welcome the people. So I normally, when I have to do the weather. So I have to go, good evening, very warm welcome to you. Quick recap of the weather for today and going into tomorrow. And I have to use that sort of like more professional voice. Then it switches into my show. It's like, yes, peeps, welcome to the Essential Mix. 2 hours of music live with Leeton. And it changes.
No way. That was awesome.
I know.
Definitely going to book you for some
Radio
samples.
time.
Yeah. And then throughout the radio show, people write in for shout-outs and that. And what they don't realise is I'm in control of the mic. So last week, you can listen to these shows again. There's a replay button. A girl texted in. It was a birthday. So I was like, need to stop here. I've got an important announcement. It's somebody's birthday. Big happy birthday. I don't know how old she is, but I reckon about 50. And that.
Oh, wow. No way, man.
Natural born bully, I say.
Well, that's the thing. Talking about Ash Noble, like when I first met him, he was getting bullied a lot. And it's something that I started noticing online, just because like how he looks or whatever, people were saying horrible things. And I thought, I'm not having this.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he actually knows, but a lot of these bullies, I went in their inbox.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
Jesus,
Nice.
no. Well, I had no clue.
He had no clue. All he knew was, hey, Layman, my bullies are disappearing.
Yeah.
And then I thought, how can I counteract the online bullying? So I became his biggest bully.
Right.
So I started making newspaper articles of him pushing Cadbury's cream eggs up his arse. Things like this,
right.
yeah?
Jesus Christ.
You broke him down.
I've got a funny story here. So
Isn't this one for me to tell?
no, this is for me to tell. Remember how you told my story with your perspective?
All right.
So yeah, Ash Noble comes to me and goes, Layman, I hate you. And I said, why, what's wrong? And he went, I went to sign on today and I'm stood in the job centre and a kid goes, hey, you're the Ash Noble, aren't you? And he's thinking, he's recognised me as an MC or a DJ. He goes, I know you. You push Cadbury's cream eggs up your ass, don't you?
In the middle of the job centre.
Oh, no.
Just as I'm about to sign on and show them how hard I've been working, applying for jobs, you shove Cadbury's cream eggs up your ass.
Not just that. There's a lot more. Like, he trapped his bell end in a Mr. Frosty. You've got to look online.
Shit.
You've got to look online.
So this on your page?
This is all on the Layman's page.
I do it on my page, but I share it to his.
Right.
But I do have to say, I got him back one time, and I got him back good and proper, and it's so funny. So I got him back, and I edited him into an article that said hide and seek champion found dead in a cupboard, and some woman starts texting him and ringing him, Layman, are you dead? Have you actually died?
I was actually in bed, and I
man.
wake up, and there's all these missed calls and messages, and I'm like, what's going on? And she went, thank God you replied. I thought you were dead. I went, dead? So I goes on Facebook. Ash Noble's edited this newspaper article, and it says hide and seek champion found dead in cupboard, and a picture of me.
No way.
Yeah, a picture of a cupboard and a little picture of my head. And she actually thought it was a real article.
Wow.
Oh,
my God.
that creases me up. That
Yeah,
it really does.
You definitely both have a good banter with each other. don't you?
we do. I think Noble has been a little bit of a punch bag for my humour, but he takes it because he knows nothing's malicious.
Yeah.
And
It's all
so
bants.
I've got big love for the guy, and he knows it comes from a place of, I'd say love. He might say torture, but I say love.
Torture.
Love.
Torture.
Love. Can you edit it? Can you edit him out so it just says love? And
Can't we just make it into a track? Torture, love, torture,
love. No, but I was going to say, just edit it so when he says torture, it says love.
Yeah.
No. It's positive bullying, as I say.
Well, what it did, though, it did push out the bullies. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because they thought, am I going to compete with this? You know what I mean? They've never done out like what you've done before. They've just maybe called me no balls instead of noble. Do you know what I mean? And you know, you're saying I do all this and that on articles.
One of the skills I do have is like a little bit of quick wit. Like Noble says, no matter how anyone bullies me, they can't top it.
Right.
I think that is a social skill.
Yeah.
He's always said it. He's like, I've seen you on Facebook today. I'm like, what? And he went, I saw you getting attacked. I've been attacked by 3 people at the same time, and I've slowly just took them apart, and he loves it.
No.
When we had that rap battle on Facebook comments with a couple of women.
Yeah, some girls got involved in this like little rap battle with me, and I don't think they knew I could write.
Right.
So they sat there, and Noble joined in with them. He actually went against me.
I know.
And so I took him out, and I took both of them out. And I don't know if I've got them bars, but they were brilliant.
Well, I thought if I can get laid from it, you know.
I don't know this guy.
The laid man or the layman?
The layman and the wannabe laid man.
Yeah, the laid man. Yeah. Taking his name to new levels.
Yeah, so like you say, we've done a lot together, and we're probably going to do a lot of stuff together in the future. Our lives are kind of busy away from each other. People think we're together all the time. We're not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But they have that image because of what they see online.
I know you're up and down the country, aren't you, constantly. And you yourself, Ash, with all the bookings recently.
Yeah, well, I go to events now, and if I go without Layman, I get, like, you know, loads of people, where's Lee, and he's not here, and they're like, why isn't he here? And I'm not with him 24/7. Someone actually only texted me the other week and said, you text each other every hour, don't you? And I'm like, no, we don't, you know. People see us online a lot together, but that doesn't mean we actually are.
Yeah.
You know, what they see online is just a snippet of when we are together, which might maybe only be an hour.
It's nice, though. I mean, like, he was at an event in Birmingham, which I missed. I was on the flyer, but I couldn't make it because of a charity thing. And he did say, like, DJ Vibes and Club Filler asked where I was, and I thought that's nice of them, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That they noticed I wasn't there.
Yeah, well, they would have seen you on the flyer and then thought, where is he? And he's missed me set, you know.
Yeah.
There's hate there, really, not like, oh, we missed.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I've missed a lot of people. So I remember being at a festival, and Urban Cookie Collective, they were there, and she said to me, don't miss my set. And I said, I won't, don't worry, I'll be there. I'd gone to a restaurant with her in Vandalia. We came back all stuffed full of food. And she goes, did you like my set? And I went, I missed it. And the same happened with Entrance. He goes, did you get some good photos of my set? I went, I wasn't here.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's funny times.
It's the last hour of the night I feel sorry for.
What do you mean?
Well, you know, you normally don't always capture the last hour set because we're normally leaving, you know.
Yeah.
That's not true. I always wait for the last DJ to come on.
Yeah, you do. When, you know, you get the good snaps, but you miss the set. And
yeah, that's true. DJs come and they do a set and they disappear.
Yeah.
I'm there all night. And I'm on my feet all night.
So
Yeah,
once you've got shots of the last performance,
I can end up taking 1,000 pictures at one event.
Wow.
And usually online I post between 400 to 500. So I try and capture as many memories as I can and so many shots, different angles. So if you go on the Layman page and you look through the photos, you'll see that there's so many pictures there from an event. And it's good that I've captured so many. And I think that's what's made it popular. And I remember being at the Gathering Fest, and Hixie and Finchy were on last.
Right.
And instead of taking pictures, I filmed a video of the closing set at the festival. And I put it online, and within 12 hours, it already had like 15,000 hits.
Wow,
and it just goes to show you that people do enjoy things that you think they wouldn't. Like the ending of an event. I wouldn't think, you know, somebody would want to watch that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I've got to drive back with him.
Have you?
Well.
And you guys obviously came from Hull.
Yeah, I live in Hull. I was born and bred in Hull. I love Hull. He's from Driffield, where they call a burger a boiger.
Well, I was technically, I was born in Cottingham, which is just outside.
He's trying to be posh.
But I lived in Driffield all my life, and yeah, there is some weird sayings that date back, like Yorkshire sayings from years ago. Yeah, boiger, sugar, booter.
Yeah. Can you imagine that? Can I have a bit of
never heard that before.
It's not toast, it's tossed. And,
yeah. Do you fancy some toast? And what is it for milk in a cuppa? Do you fancy some cow in tea?
No, it's just grab cow out at fridge.
That's what I mean. Grab cow
like
out
that.
of fridge.
You know, because milk does come from a cow, doesn't it? So
yeah, but where does tea come from? A plantation? Can I have a cup of plantation with the cow?
Didn't tea come from Japan or something, or China?
Yeah, I think tea came from Southeast Asia originally.
You see, this is another thing I do want to bring up about Layman while we're onto it. Like, this guy is so intelligent, so I can just ask him about certain topics or where did something originate, and it's like he'll know. So it's like, you know, who needs to go on to Google or Wikipedia?
It's true, right? And he tries to catch me out. He'll ask me a stupid question like, what can you tell me about double glazing? And I'm like, what, Pilkington K glass? And then he starts looking it up online.
Yeah, like
he does it to me all the time.
Like, where did streetlights originate from?
Yeah, so I told him back in the day they didn't have streetlights. They actually had candles in lamps, and they used to light them with this long stick and put them out with the opposite side of it. And he's like, how do you know this? And I went, I don't know. It's just in there.
Yeah.
So probably about 5 months ago now, I signed him up for the Chase on ITV.
This is true.
Oh, nice.
Because I actually thought he might actually do well, and he'd share the winnings, obviously. But
yeah, I mean, a lot of people want to see me on TV. It's weird because Big Brother was recruiting, and it came up on Facebook. We're looking for people in the Hull area.
I can see you in that, actually. Yeah.
No, never.
No, we need
everyone started putting the Layman, Leet on the Layman. And there was a poll done in Hull on a group called One Hull of a City for the most popular people. I actually made number 3 or number 4 in that poll.
Nice.
Yeah, because somebody put my name forward. You know, like when they do DJ competitions and they put the name in.
Yeah.
Somebody put my name in and it shot right up. I was getting loads of votes, and I thought,
crazy.
This is mental.
We need the Layman house. That's what we need.
Well, if I had the Layman house, I'd definitely torture people. I'd put, I'd find someone who's addicted to chocolate and I'd just put it in a bulletproof case and just leave it next to the bedside.
Yeah.
I would be the epitome of torture.
But you've got to do it with artists, and like the people that go in the Layman house is the artists.
I can't imagine like DJs wanting to do this.
Well, just imagine like Scott Brown waiting for the shower, but Ultra Beats in it. Do you know what I mean?
You could do it, but you got to have just one pair of decks.
Oh my God!
So then you're going to get the politics.
It'll be like a B to 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 B.
I thought you glitched then, bro. Can you glitch that on the podcast so it looks like a little robot?
Yeah, B to B to B.
Just extend it, 16 bars.
Yeah,
B to B, B to B. See, now you're realising how crazy he actually is. And sometimes events are 3 hours away and I've got to deal with this for 3 hours.
Well, there's one simple solution.
Do you see the sympathy in Martin's eyes for me right now?
Well, he's thinking, why don't you just leave him at home?
Yeah.
You put yourself through it, Layman, by picking him up.
I think I've rambled on enough. How do we tidy this up? How do we finish this?
B to B to B to B. That's where we was.
No, I think you guys really do complement each other well. You bounce off each other well. And you probably keep each other in check, don't you?
I've never visioned Layman as a trampoline.
See, these are the dad jokes he does, and I can't cope with them.
Why? You're a dad yourself.
I know I am, but...
You fathered me, didn't you?
Oh, God. We're going to get ripped for this podcast, you know that, with some of this stuff.
Layman, we're not paper.
I had a bit of credibility, yeah. You've just destroyed it in one podcast.
Well, it's all part of Noble, isn't it?
Yeah, so I think you wanted to mention something about a Google Chrome head.
Oh, yeah, I did actually. So Layman's mind is like Google Chrome. So imagine you've got your web browser, you've got hundreds of tabs opened. That's Layman's mind. So 1 minute we're having a conversation about something, and then all of a sudden he just zones out and goes on to something completely different. And he told me once that it's like his mind's Google Chrome and it can only focus on like one tab at a time, but then it like drifts off and goes on to another tab.
It's best to describe yourself and not secondhand. Basically, Martin, you might understand this, but I've got like loads of things open in my head.
Yeah.
And he could be just going on like he does, and it kind of bores you sometimes. So you shift tab, you start looking at another window and thinking, oh yeah, I've got this to do. Or I'll go to my FM window and think, oh, I've got this playlist to do up and this advert to put out. And suddenly he's like, are you listening? And I'm like, no, I wasn't. He does get annoyed because he doesn't like repeating himself.
Yeah, but sometimes you do it and I'm actually not going on rambling.
He thinks he's not going on, but that's your perception.
No, sometimes I'm not, and you actually...
You're doing it right now as evidence for the camera.
Yeah, but sometimes you actually just get a text message on your phone, and I've only just started talking, and you'll zone out.
You heard it here live first.
Or he'll put one earphone on, just so he can't hear me.
This is why I'm deaf in that ear.
What was that?
Yeah, you're deaf in one eye.
This is what I do at events, when you get people going, oh yeah, I can MC, and they spit in your ear. Oh yeah, I go that side.
That side.
Yeah,
and they're doing it, and then afterwards I just go and walk off.
Yeah, well, what did he spit? I don't know.
No idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Worse when you can't actually hear him as well.
Yeah.
It's just like mumbling.
Except from he don't do that anymore. He just goes, Noble, this guy wants to spit bars, and then walks off, and then I get it in the ear.
Yeah, that's true. But the thing is, at events, there's loud music, so everyone believes they've got to shout in your ear to be heard, and it hurts my eardrums.
Yeah.
Because they're shouting that loud. It's awful.
Terrible. Shocking.
It is. It's despicable.
Yeah.
We're not having it.
No.
We're not having it.
Not on a Sunday, anyway.
No.
Oh, it's been absolutely awesome having you guys on. Honestly, it's been a pleasure.
Well, what can I say, people? Check out I.E Media. Make sure you like, share, and follow it.
Yeah, check them out.
Appreciate that.
Because we're on it.
Yeah, that's right. We're on it. And what's even better is you can press rewind and watch it again and again and again. Forward it to all your friends and torture them with his podcast.
It's like a better version of the BBC iPlayer, isn't it?
But it's been an absolute pleasure, Martin, and it's been real good to meet you and get to know and you have a chat as well.
Yeah, and
you
obviously, get to learn about your sweet addiction. And
yeah, that's right. For the viewers, I'm going to look at this, right? That's just one bowl. Let's have a look at the second one, yeah? I don't want to disturb the camera.
Trying to be a good host,
Look at this. Do you know what I mean, trying to be a good host? I'm diabetic.
Oh,
and it was
I'm not.
And it was that day he knew Cabras went bust.
But thank you very much. Absolute pleasure. I've been the Layman.
I've been Ash Noble, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, you've definitely been
allegedly.
Yeah. No, thank you very much.
Tonight,
Absolute pleasure.
Matthew, I'm going to be...
Cut him off.
See you soon.
See you soon. Tradition.
Hey, season's greetings.
Nearly
Real
forgot.
Gangster.
Merry Christmas.
Are we still live?
Yeah.
Big Merry Christmas to everybody. Have a brilliant year and all the best to you and your family for the next.
Layman's coming down your chimney this year.
Yes, peeps.
Peace.